Hello, welcome. Think I'm live here. We should be good. Welcome back, everybody. We are here, just getting everything set up. All right, we should be good. We're here with some more Duel Commander in the next 3 or so weeks before Grief gets banned, huh? We got, what, 19 days? That's 2 more streams, 3 if you're including today, so we'll definitely be diving into some more Duel Commander until then. But before we get into what we're doing tonight, a little bit of humble bragging for those of you that don't follow me on Twitter or don't follow what I'm doing very closely. I top 8'd the Gen Con Secret Lair Showdown. That's the one where they give there's like the 3 fancy Secret Lair Showdown promos. There's like one for participation. There's one for the top like 32 that get in. There's usually like several feeder events that go in. It was basically you had to go undefeated in these feeder events. The top 8 cutoff qualifies, and there are 4 feeder events. Then they all play top 32. Top 32 all win a fancy promo Murktide Regent. Hell yeah. And then first place gets like a even fancier promo Dark Ritual because it's worth a shit zillion dollars because there are only 4 in the world, as opposed to the 128 of these guys. But I'm still pretty happy with how I did given the state of the format. Played some good old-fashioned D&T. I guess maybe I should like talk very briefly about my list. My plan from now on is to just ignore Legacy completely until the ban. I just don't really care about it anymore. So I'm just kind of completely checked out, but I will, for those people that are playing Legacy the next 3 weeks that do care a little bit, we'll give them a little bit of the rundown at least. So it is pretty similar to my showcase list. For those of you that want a sideboard guide, I have a sideboard guide for this specific list, which is a little bit more helpful for Moto. A little bit less helpful for paper, but in terms of differences, I basically went in not planning to face the weird combo decks at all, because those decks are at a critical low point, and I just played 4 White Orchid Phantoms in the sideboard. There's a second cage. Let's just edit this list, huh? So I don't have to, like, click on the list repeatedly to try to explain. Alright, so this is, TLT for Gen Con. I feel like I already did this, but I didn't see the list off to the side, so. So what did we do? We played 2 cages, 2 surgicals. This is a little bit because I only own 2 promo Grafdigger's cages, but who's to say if the 3rd cage or the 2nd surgical is correct? I boarded them both in 0 times for the entire weekend. And then we played a full 4 White Orchid Phantoms because like I said, my plan was basically just to dodge the nonsensical combo decks that exist in very minimal portions in this current meta, and just plan for the decks that are like Scam, and then the decks that are right below Scam, like Eldrazi, Post, Painter, stuff like that. So I literally just played 4 White Orchid Phantoms. I swapped this Laron for this Fairy Macabre. What was my last sideboard card? The Containment Priest was no longer in the main deck. We didn't have 2 Sashes because we actually have Pre-War Formal Wear. What do I usually use as a... Yeah, usually use Plate Armor as the Pre-War Formal Wear representation. Fetches are the same configuration. I think, if you want to get technical, I had 3 Windswept Heaths instead of these Flutterstrands, because those are just the promos that I own. But that basically doesn't actually matter. And then I was playing a Flicker Wisp in the last slot. Here. So this is the list that I top 8'd with in the Secret Lair Showdown. Was very happy with it all day. I think this is what I would be playing if I were playing any more Legacy events. From now until the Grief ban, I would recommend this. I think Phantom Blade is very good, even in paper. I know there was a little bit of deliberation, mostly by myself, if Phantom Blade was important. in a world where you had access to Formalware as a Spirited Labyrinth, or Spirited Labyrinth, as a Stoneforge Mystic bullet? And I think the answer is just yes. Phantom Blade is actually just pretty good in this deck, so was pleasantly surprised to see that. Anyway, that's pretty much all I'm gonna say about this. Was very happy with my result, very happy with the list, and I am the most happy to not play any more Legacy until the Grief ban. So today we will be playing some Light-Paws. I stole this list shamelessly from one of my buddies on Discord, Zane, who has been dipping his toes into Duel Commander recently. I know he's been playing a bunch of leagues, a little bit more than I have. So he said he brewed up this list, which probably was, pulled from a lot of the other Light-Paws lists that are online. I was interested in this. I know I talked about it last week on the stream. Kind of just like a Voltron, not quite really Bogles commander, because you don't have this like hexproof or ward potential that you could have with something like Wilson, another card that I'm interested in trying. But I am interested in delving into decks that are really more focused on their commander, which is pretty interesting to me. This format is very removal heavy, so it can be a little bit dangerous to go all in on your commander. But something like access to Light-Paws can be really, really busted because you can kill your opponent really fast. It is truly impossible for me to go over every aura in this deck because there are just so many just random ass bullets. I myself am going to have to pull up this deck list and look at all my options every time I put an aura on the stack with a Light-Paws in play. Because it is just really hard to remember. Playing this deck in paper sounds honestly very, very difficult. Just remembering all the options that you have every time you cast a spell with Light-Paws. Also, some of these stupid auras have, really weird old text. Some of, Ward of Lights. You may choose... So you can flash it in, and if you do, it dies on end step. And a lot of these, weird auras that give protection to it from a color of your choice, does not de-equip the aura, but some of the text on them doesn't say that because they're old. Like Flickering Ward. I believe Flickering Ward, if you choose white, it doesn't just fall off, right? Does the Moto text say anything? Yes, the Moto text says this effect doesn't remove Flickering Ward. And there's even one that says doesn't remove enchantments at all. If I could remember which aura it is, but again, impossible to do. Because there are so many random old bullshit auras in this format. Benevolent Blessing, I think, is the one, actually. This effect doesn't remove auras and equipment you control that are already attached to it, but it also means that, if you wanted to attach new equipment, you could not attach new auras to it. But this deck basically has almost, I think every aura, 2 CMC or less with Flash, specifically. Being able to react to your opponent's stuff and protect your Light-Paws with grabbing stuff like, what the hell was it called? I just said it. The stupid, 1-drop aura that you can pick back up. It's over. Not Ward of Lights. Ward of Lights is the Flash one. Flickering Ward. This one, Flickering Ward is nice because you can pick it back up if you have to name white. So you can, put it down, trigger Light-Paws again, choose different colors, and also just, you can pick it up, put it down, just to get a bunch of 1-drop auras on. Okay, dog, do you mind? Get down. You can come and sit later. Jeez. She only comes in when I start the stream. Anyway. Like I was saying, deck is a million auras. I literally have this list pulled up on Moxfield so I can scroll through the list easier. And because this is where I downloaded it from Zane. The creatures are basically all things that will help you protect your Light-Paws, keep it in play. Stuff like, Benevolent Bodyguard, Mother of Runes, all that stuff. Selfless Savior, Selfless Spirit, Skrelv. All of that good stuff. And then a couple of broken white creatures, Esper Sentinel, stuff that's really good with auras, Core Spirit Dancer, Pearl Ear, SRAM. White Plume Adventure is just really busted, and you probably just put it in every deck that has white in this format. Protection spells, some removal spells. A little bit. The ramp looks a tiny bit weird, but this deck really likes to get to specifically like 3 mana on turn 2. Stuff like Jeweled Amulet and like the 2 soul lands in the deck, right? Remote Farm and the Sack Land, whatever it was called. Ruins of Trocaire. Because they get you to that 3 mana flashpoint where you can play your Light-Paws and cast a 1 mana aura in the same turn to go get something like Hyena Umbra. Is that the Umbra? Yeah, that's the 1-drop Umbra that gives it totem armor. Or if you're afraid of like different colors, bounce spells or whatever, you can get. There's auras. There's aura of pro red and black and blue and green in this deck. Shield of Duty and Reason and Mask of Law and Grace. There's just so much random stuff in this deck that's gonna be really hard to make all your decisions. Oh, and speaking of another one that like you get to it has flash. You get to choose ETB, choose a color, gives the creature protection from chosen color, and doesn't remove this aura. So anyway, that's the deck. Hey, Giraffe MPW, thanks for the follow. Appreciate the support. So I don't know why that notification was so loud. But anyway. Let's play some more Duel Commander. I've really been enjoying this format. I've seen some people on Twitter also really enjoying it. I don't know how many people are actually playing it. I think Mengucci tweeted like he wanted to get a challenge going. If Daybreak wants to add a Duel Commander challenge, that would honestly be really sick. I would be very much into trying Duel Commander challenges in the future. Galadriel's Dismissal is also a sick one. We played against, what was it? The Flage. We played against Flage, where they cast Flage and Galadriel's Dismissaled it, which was kind of sick. Stifle Knot style, but obviously phasing is really nice with your things suited up with a bunch of auras, so where something like Ephemerate would not help you, because all the auras would fall off. Phasing brings all your stuff out with you. Alright, fine. We can sit up here. Punk. Not sure if this is an Eidolon of Countless Battles deck, huh? It's like really sick if you bestow it, but it's a very expensive bestow cost and just kind of like a random idiot beater otherwise, which I don't know if you want, but Duel Commander is a format where it is sometimes hard to fine-tune the last couple of slots, because a lot of cards are like, oh, this card's pretty good. It's like all your cards are a one-of, right? This card's pretty good. It has its moments versus like certain decks, certain game states, but it's like, not the best, but the difference between the 60th best card in your deck and the 61st best or whatever is going to look a little different than in 60 card four card or four of the same card constructed. We're only realistically playing like what 10 15 real cards, because you just play 4 of all the best cards, and the drop-off's a little bit steeper sometimes. I wonder if this deck wants a Mana Tithe. It probably does. People were telling me Mana Tithe was just really good in the white decks. Kind of makes sense. This format can be very mana efficient, tapping out a lot. Deck also does not want a lot of... I don't even know... I feel like this Cave of the Frost Dragon is probably not right. This card sucks so bad. Just like every single format. This deck really wants to hit specifically one white a lot. So like your colorless sources are very few and far between. Are we missing there's the new one, the cycle of MH3 cards. It gets a historic card, right? Historic cards are just sagas, legendaries and artifacts. Okay, so that's probably not very good in this deck, huh? No legendary enchantments. You have like probably one legendary creature in here. Yeah, 2, 3. Yeah, that is basically no hits. That card's not very good. But there's probably some other flex lands you could potentially add here. Solid Footing's a cool one because there are a couple auras in this deck that buff your toughness more than your power. So it's a nice random utility thing that also is, you know, 1 mana flash aura. What is your problem today, kid? Also, something that's cool. Whenever, nope, we're starting. The auras that you cast to trigger Light-Paws don't have to target Light-Paws. The ones that you cast don't have to target Light-Paws. The one that comes in off the trigger does. Interesting. Chromium. Seems a little awkward because I love the Gemstone Caverns on the draw, but like just running out Light-Paws on turn 2 feels a little dangerous to me. You'd love to protect it with Devoted Caretaker. If I draw like another 1-drop, it might be nice. Suit up the Devoted Caretaker if I wanted, but that seems kind of crazy. I feel like there's just no chance against like a Chromium deck. This thing feels like a weird, like, late game inevitability Esper control deck. I mean, Sentinel Size gives it vigilance. Doesn't feel that bad, huh? If it dies, the Sentinel's Eyes is fine in the graveyard. Escape 2. Could also just play Devoted Caretaker and say go. Keep all my things. Let's suit him up. Mill Memory Deluge. You got like a Fatal Push over there? No? Alright. We will attack, because we're going to play Light-Paws, say go. We want to hold the white mana, so in case there's like a removal spell. I want to at least get in R2 damage. That was a pretty terrible card to draw, huh? I feel like we just gotta go in, huh? Just go get like ethereal armor or something. Beat down. What happens if you can't attach the aura you tutor to Light-Paws? Like if I tutor an Onthanize, I assume it just like would die. Could we actually maybe get Hyena Umbra here? Play around a Wrath of some kind? Maybe that's fine. Ouch. That kind of sucks, huh? Can't protection my way out of that one. Sword Splashers, Light-Paws, Oust. So if I put a second from the top, we could War Room, draw it, and then we wouldn't cast it. So yeah, let's just put it back in the command zone. Just automatically went there, huh? Was I not allowed to shuffle it in? Oh, this is the... we 5 mana. What is 4 cards in hand? Do I just recast Light-Paws? We have Reverent Mantra potentially to protect. Yeah. Suppose I could actually recast Sentinel's Eyes here, huh? Force of Will. I suppose. I feel like I'm okay in this spot. Got a link for this list? Yeah, on my flex slot, there should be a link for this list, as well as somewhere on the screen there should be a Stream Decker link. What are you casting here? Jeez. Oh, that's pretty bad for me, huh? Enough! Come on, kid. Jeez. Just being exceptionally a nuisance today. Now I feel like we are not ahead at all anymore. Get. I hate you so much, kid. Get out. Out. Get. Get. I think Gonjo really got me, huh? The fact that I couldn't use a Devoted Caretaker. What do I want to do? We could suit up the Warrior, try to go after the Teferi. That doesn't feel like it's going to get me to a lot of places. We could activate War Room and cast Cliffside Rescuer. Feels like that also kind of sucks. We could just cast Light-Paws, but into an active Teferi, that seems awful. I think my best bet is drawing cards, huh? The only time I've cast Mantra, I've used it to destroy and animate dead. Oh, that's actually kind of hilarious. Never even thought about that. Oh, don't even get me started on the white border cards, man. I'm mad that they gave me white border spirit instead of future sight spirit. I would have paid so much for foil future sight border spirited labyrinths, and they just fucking gave me the white border ones instead. What are we doing? We're casting Memory Deluge, probably. Feels like you're not holding up a lot if that's the case. Maybe they just don't care. This stage of the game. They are, you know, casting take their time here. Haven't seen a single D&T card in Future Sight frame. So they did show Future Sight Swords, Plowshares, and Aether Vial. Aether Vial is pretty sick, but I love the Secret Lair Spirit. Aether Vial, or yeah, Secret Lair Aether Vials look so good. All right, 6 mana. We have nothing. I kind of just want to concede here, if I'm being honest. I don't think we're gonna win this one. Yeah, let's go next. I'm good. We could try to play this one out, but I've played against active Teferi long enough that I'm good. We can try again. No 1-drop. Tide Digger ain't bad. First time I've ever said that, maybe. A little awkward that we have Ossification and Darksteel Mutation here, which seem pretty awful against a control deck. I think I'm going to mulligan that. Jeez. I might be just dead, huh? This hand would be pretty good with 1 white source. Let's just go to 5 and pray we beat him down. I guess we just bought him the Jeweled Amulet, but Tapland Jeweled Amulet. Everything just coming up the worst possible. Keep this. Bottom that. Bottom Spirit Link, probably. We don't really need life gain here. Give you $20 for that Mercantile. Feel like I could get a tiny bit more if I'm being honest. This remote farm's gonna just tap for 2 twice, and then I'm just gonna lose. If I cast Light-Paws, it's gonna die. Is that better for me than cast? I'd rather have Strom live, I think, honestly. Heal to 21. Getting closer, certainly. Did some sort of 1 to 2 mana removal spell. Now they've whiteboarded Deathrise Shaman. Do they have to unban it? Certainly not. They also future sight bordered top. Interesting that my opponent's waiting. They just want to like try to 2-for-1 me here. That seems kind of a terrible choice. I have a multitude of ways to protect my creature now. I kind of don't want to cast Srom. I kind of just want to hold up all this protection stuff. Like if we just suit it up and then give it like pro white. If we need to give it like pro, if we just give it like pro black, pro white, it should be pretty safe. Do I give it pro blue green, black white? Then it has like no power and toughness. We do have Saving Grace plus Solid Footing. Hey Alex, how's it going? I think I want a Solid Footing it. But what's the best way to protect it? It's just Benevolent Blessing, but if I cast the spell and then they cast a removal spell in response, Benevolent Blessing will make it, if they cast a white spell in response specifically. I guess I could always get an Umbra as well if it's just a destruction spell. If it's like Source of Plowshares, then things start to go wrong, huh? How bad is Iname, the OG? Probably horrendously unplayable, if I'm being honest. Oh, they just normalize the Solid Footing? That's pretty good for me. Do I just let this happen? I could Saving Grace just for damage, but that seems pretty bad. I could SRAM here. Also seems pretty bad. I'm just kind of fine with this. Makes me not have to use my remote farm, which is kind of nice. So that Alseid could force some action potentially. I think this is fine. Could Shield of Duty and Reason this just to give it some oomph. But again, it wouldn't even give it that much oomph. If they respond, we can respond with Zealot's Conviction or Saving Grace. They should have gone with White Border Thassasaur. Yeah, they gave all the Dooms. They gave Doomsday like all the Future Sight border cards, which is kind of sick, honestly. Like, if you have all Future Sight, if you like Future Sight bordered out Doomsday, that would be pretty dope. Void Rend. So I can Zealot's Conviction here in response and give it Pro Black, which is probably better than trying to give it Pro White. But then I also don't have the white mana floating to protect, or like a mana floating because this fucking remote farm to protect it. I'll just suit it up and hope for the best. I could also Umbra, but that seems worse than just giving it Pro Black. Let's just hope they don't have a white removal spell. We just go get Ethereal Armor and hope for the best. Please no white removal spell. We will lose on the spot. Temple of the False God. That is not a land. Nope. Stop casting spells, please. Stop it. Stop it. Oh. We're pro that. That Teferi can't stop us. They could have bounced, like, one of the ores. I guess if they bounced the ores, they actually would have died. Kind of funny. What's not funny is that, we can't actually kill them here because we have 3 2-drops in hand. Yes, I actually tried the mono green Selvala Dreadnought deck. Like my very first league was trying that deck. It was okay. Definitely did not age great. I'm going to put them to 2. And attack the Teferi? Maybe no, that's stupid. I just attack them to 1. The Teferi Plus doesn't do anything. And it just gives me another lethal creature in play. Yeah, they've printed so many commanders since we played, Dual Commander like 8 years ago. And a lot of them are really busted. Would be nice. Just some extra insurance here. Demonic Tutor for something? Cast like Wrath of God. Balance. That's legal in this format? Wow, that seems pretty unbeatable, huh? They have to discard a card and sack a bunch of lands, though? And then we cast Sram? I guess we might actually be okay. Wait, this is sacrifice? Okay, we can't, like, prevent sacrifice. Some dumb bullshit. Like, we can't, whatever, totem armor our way out of sacrifice, because destroy and sacrifice are different things. We can't None of these auras, like, phase out a creature for a turn. I guess that makes sense, right? This seems maybe beatable, honestly. Depends on if our SRAM gets answered, I guess, is the big thing. But, like, they're stone raining themselves 3 times and discarding a card. But maybe I should have attacked the Teferi last turn, huh? Would have, like, made my board position a little bit more secure here. Done? Do I have to do anything? Yes. There we go. Do they have a counter spell? Rough. Oh, memory lapse. Alright, that's kind of fine. I always don't attack Teferi to try to push damage, then I just almost always regret it. I don't know why I keep thinking that it's a good plan. Although the way this game's playing out, the Teferi might not be the card that kills me, huh? Do they just forget to plus the Teferi? Not looking like the attacking the Teferi mattered too much, but always could, right? That like this board state with them at 1 life looks a lot better for me if they don't have a Teferi in play and I can just like play any creature to threaten them. Whereas if I play any creature now, they always have a turn to time lock with Teferi bounce, draw an extra card. Is Prosh still playable? I think they're much better Jund commanders nowadays. They banned Food Chain. Kill the thing. 0.7% of the format. Sure, yes. Some people probably register it. I probably would not. Yeah, I think we're gonna concede here unless we draw. Actually, I don't know what we could even draw here. Yeah, Teferi ended up not really mattering here. The balance got me good. Honestly, was not aware balance was legal in the format. I suppose it's hard to exploit in the way that balance is traditionally broken, right? Because balance is busted when you play fast mana. In this format, it's just like a kind of fucked up wrath, which is, you know, understandable, but can also be a little bit like can backfire, right? It's a 2 mana wrath for control decks, but it also sometimes, you know, can mind twist you or, you know, blow up a bunch of your own lands. It's an interesting card to be legal in the format. But also that was, you know, a mold of 5, and any 1-drop aura instead of a 2-drop aura was like lethal that one turn. I've heard this deck is very good and very boring. Does not surprise me in the least. I will happily source pleasures this Tameo. Problem here is that my Light-Paws is just never resolving. That's not great for me. Like, I don't even think I'm supposed to cast it here. If they just, like, land Tameo for some reason, we have an opening to, like, give it pro blue, stuff like that. Unfortunately, I don't think land go favors me a ton. Yeah, Light-Paws, if you can't get it under... If you can't cast it, like, underneath counter spells, it seems pretty rough sometimes. Just cast Tameo. What could go wrong, opponent? Nice. Ah, the perfect land. Still really don't want to cast anything. We're hitting land drop still. We have a kind of threat eventually. They might cast Tameo with counterspell up here and we can path it. Yeah. Path not that exciting versus a cheap general like that, huh? I mean, I guess, huh? I should start casting it at some point because I can try to run them through some amount of counter spells. Like, cast it for 2, cast it for 4, slowly get there. Maybe I wanted to keep the Wish Enchanters just so I could double spell my Light-Paws. Interesting. Do I just go in on this Witch Enchanter? Kind of want to. I mean, I guess I cast the Light-Paws, right? It gets counterspelled. We play like Giver, Cartouche, hold up Benevolent Blessing or something. This is almost assuredly getting counterspelled of some kind. Yep. That's fine. I guess I can't hold up Benevolent Blessing if I want to play Giver and Hyena Umbra. Maybe I just don't care. What do they have? Like, fucking bounce spell? They bounce the Witch Enchanter. We can kill the smokestacks, too. We can get our 1-1 out of this. Seems mostly fine. I think I'm just gonna Cartouche, Giver, Hyena Umbra here. They want to, like, mana, whatever. Smokestacks doesn't seem great against my mono-white aggro deck. Kind of surprised to see a card like that in a Tameo deck. The Witch Enchanter, which is mostly fine. We got value out of the Cartouche anyway. Could have tried to hold up Benevolent Blessing, but then we couldn't have developed other things onto the board. I sack here. Could play the Witch Enchantress land here. They have they only have 2 cards in hand. Could just sack the Warrior token here, honestly. Recast the Light-Paws. Have potentially 2 mana. Like a 2-mana counterspell I want to play around. Am I always playing this Witch Enchanter out as a land? I could just cast Witch Enchanter and blow up the smokestacks. It does get a little awkward when I have to sack 2 permanents next turn, huh? They counter the Witch Enchanter. Was I supposed to? No, Dog Umbering the Tameo is stupid. Kind of forgot it has the pacifism mode, honestly. But if they just drew 3 cards, the Tameo would still flip, right? Yep. Fortunately, we can't kill the Tameo. I guess if we drew a land, we could animate Frost Dragon and attack it. That'd be 1, 2, 3. Sure. I only have 2 cards left in hand, huh? This is suspend 2'd. It's kind of nice, actually. If they try to flip the Tameo, we could potentially Galadriel's dismissal it. At that point, though, we could probably just kill it. We just go in on Light-Paws. Sure. You're interested in buying an equity stake in this league and any future leagues I may play, huh? I'll have to think about that. Unless you're pastimes employed, in which case, no, absolutely not. I'm going to report you. Alright, so we're like extra insulated from things. I think we just want to just tutor like auras that make Light-Paws huge. Just like Dog Umbra, go get all is whatever, all the glitters, and then go get like Daybreak Coronet or something. Does anything give my guy reach so this Tameo has to stop attacking me? God. Again, I could pacifism the Tameo. I could just go get Flickering Ward, although I don't think we have enough mana to go nuts with Flickering Ward. Nothing gives my thing a reach, huh? Yeah, none of them. So we could potentially, like, Dog Umbra, go get a 1-drop, pick it up, cast it, pick it up, cast it again. spell on Dog Umbra? Logic not X equals 7. You got it, Chief. I would not like to pay 7 mana for your Logic Knot. Alright, well. One card left in hand. I think I attack like this. We have one card. We have 2 lines of defense here. Can I attack with Giver too? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is 5 damage, put them to 8, and then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 if I attack with the Giver next turn. So we attack with... No, we can attack with the Cave next turn, potentially. Although I guess they'll have a 1/1 to block next turn. Big fan of opponent right now. Opponent's deck hasn't actually looked that impressive. Currently have lethal, right? 5 in the air. If they attack with Tameo. Scries 1 top and then draws it. Sure. I think we have lethal with Giver of Runes up. 5 in the air, they're down to 3. They block here with a 1/1, they would take 3. Yeah. If they attack with Tameo, we have lethal. What the hell does this do? Oh, I suppose it is stasis combo. That stasis comboing with Tameo specifically here. But they have no cards in hand? Wait, how is this gonna work? About this now. Am I like stasis locked because of the Tameo plus the Forsaken City? If the problem is that they don't have to exile a card from their hand yet, right? So even if I phase out this Tameo... Oh, no, because the Tameo is going to tap forever, right? And they can't flip the Tameo. So this is like, maybe not fine, but this isn't a lock. If they attack, they get a clue, and they can untap the Forsaken City. But then they have nothing, I think. I'm confused. I don't fully know. Yeah, I do need to play more pre-modern. I don't know how this stasis shit is about to happen to me, but... I think it's bad for me if I like burn my Galadriel's Dismissal for no reason. Yeah, they don't even attack. So I could spend my remaining mana bestowing Glyph Elemental, which triggers Light-Paws and untaps it, right? I could go get Triclopean Sight. Give it +1/+1 in Vigilance. That's what... I think that's just how that works, right? And then I have a creature with Vigilance, which seems really good against my opponent's Stasis. That seems fine. I'll bestow onto the Light-Paws. Bestowing on the bird token is bad because it'll just attack once and then tap. Although, does that threaten lethal? It's like Cyclopean whatever. Triclopean sight is only +1/+1, and it gives Triclopean sight. Yeah, Triclopean sight gives vigilance, right? My glyph warding does not. My glyph elemental, so this would just be a 2/2, so it wouldn't even do anything. So I'll bestow onto the Light-Paws. Don't know what could come off of this Urza Saga to fuck me, but I guess we'll find out. Aether Spellbomb? Yeah, but we have Giver of Runes, right? They just block? Sure. It feels like that doesn't bode well for me. I truly don't know what's about to happen. Maybe the stasis was just like a time lock? I mean, I guess they can just choose to keep it in play for a little bit. Unless I'm gonna get, like, actual hard locked by some insane shit off of this Urza Saga. Okay, yeah, they're not, like, missing their draw stuff. Forsaken City plus Stasis by itself is just a quote-unquote lock. It locks both players, though. Grindstone. Am I gonna get paintered? They can't painter me this turn. Or potentially ever with the amount of mana that they have. I guess I'll attack with the bird token here. I think I win. Fucking sick-ass Triclopean sight tech to beat the stasis. All according to plan. Yeah, they sack the stasis. But they still don't untap, right? So they're just like dead? You gonna grindstone me for my whole deck? Dang, unlucky. You hit 2 lands. Bizarre game. Run it back. I was trying to, like, math all the ways that, like, Stasis Tameo beat me, and then, like, it took me, like, 3 full minutes of thinking to realize the Tameo didn't untap. It wasn't just, like, a hard lock. Foil Triclopean sight is, like, $15. Well, good thing I'm not going to foil out this Light-Paws EDH deck, probably. This hand's probably fine. We'll draw auras, right? Also, like, a little bit more importantly, you kind of just want other creatures because the Light-Paws probably won't resolve anytime early game. A little awkward that we don't have an answer for Tameo on turn 1. Kind of the infuriating thing about these 1-drop commanders. Especially ones that just, like, snowball. Just, like, you really want to just have removal spells for them on turn 1. You just often will not. Sure. I guess it's good we didn't have the 1-drop removal spell. Do they just have the brainstorm? Yep. Well, we have Reverent Mantra to hopefully protect the Light-Paws, draw into some sort of aura to attack down the Tameo, hopefully. Assuming it it resolves. Well, could he use you before this Tameo flipped? Ouch. That's really bad for me. Misstep into Brainstorm, flip my Tameo into Force of Will your commander. Yeah, opponent is fucking playing vintage, huh? Definitely wasn't gonna be this hand anytime soon. We draw like Skyclave, we could still win. That's about it, huh? Otherwise, this Tameo's just gonna like ult and kill me. Oh, they just buy back Force of Will? That seems kind of wildly less good than just trying to ult this Tameo. Interesting. I don't think they're in a rush. I kind of feel like they are a little, like they would rather just try to kill me than sit back. I guess maybe the Tameo will accrue enough value to like hopefully kill me anyway. Their build is definitely weird. It's got like a lot of artifact stuff in it. Not stuff that I typically see out of these Tameo decks. Yeah, I think we're just gonna get our Light-Paws counterspelled again and then lose to this Tameo ulting like 2 turns later. Better to cast it now than when they can just cast it as 5 mana cancel. Sure. Alright, game 3. Hopefully we don't get mental misstep, brainstorm, force of will, spell snared, huh? Being on the play seems exceptionally good here against the deck that really wants to cast Tameo on turn 1. Oh, and we have Esper Sentinel. Sounds great. This hand is very, very good. Next turn we can go drum Light-Paws. Oh. I think I still am fine with going drum Light-Paws and just draw a card. The fact that drum ramps us into just casting Light-Paws again the following turn seems pretty okay to me. Oh, that just resolved. Definitely didn't expect that. Kind of weird to see Island go and then don't cast a counterspell or the Tameo. I mean, all right. Kind of just want a Flickering Ward to pro blue this to make sure it's just immune to everything forever. Just to protect it. it's worse into a counterspell. I want the Flickering Ward to resolve more than I want, like, Solid Footing to resolve. Solid Footing is flash to pro... I could always flash Pro Blue it to protect it from something. Sorry for everyone over this. Been seeing some people say Grief plus something else needs to go, like into maybe just ideas on... Yeah, there we go. This is what we wanted. Ideas on Grief versus Grief plus card. Let me answer that in a second here. We are going to Solid Footing this. Use Light-Paws' ability. Go get Shield of Duty and Reason. We are going to give it Pro Blue again. We are going to go get Ethereal Armor. We are going to pick up Recast Pro Blue. Gift of Granite does the most, right? Because I have Solid Footing on it. Wait, this thing doesn't have Vigilance. What? As long as an enchanted creature has Vigilance, it is... What a bizarre card. Gift of Granite does not give Vigilance. I don't think it really matters here. I guess we'll just get Cartouche of Solidarity. And beat the ever-loving shit out of my opponent. Do you have... I'm so baffled. What is... Now I'm terrified. What is about to happen to me? Show and tell? Am I just get, like, Omniscience killed or some insane shit? I mean, I guess I put in this Vigilant Martyr, huh? Propaganda. Oh, that doesn't fucking do anything. I have plenty of mana. All that glitters. Attack you for 20. You are dead. Yeah, I think they were just kind of conceding by casting the Show and Tell, knowing that they were dead. But that was a weird, like, very Staxy build. The Show and Tell seems weird. They had, like, the Painter combo in there. A lot of bizarre stuff going on in that specific Tamiyo deck. But anyway, now that I'm not focused on trying to figure out what cards to tutor, and answer a couple questions here. I have kind of shifted sentiment. I do kind of agree with some people saying Grief plus something else needs to go. I don't think it's on a power level concern more than it's on just like we've taken so long that we kind of need to just get rid of something else too, I think. Because people are going to be mad when we just ban Grief and then we're just in like the frog meta or whatever. I don't think that specifically Scam is broken enough that we need to ban 2 cards from it. But I think the meta that we are waiting to explore and have been waiting to explore for the past 2 months is going to not be very good. And it's going to be very frustrating if we just get Grief banned and see like Grixis Frog or Blue-Black Frog tempo take over the format in the same way that Scam did. And then if we just see that format go for 3 months and then they're like, well, Eternal Weekend's in a month, we can't ban anything again. So it's like I hope that they have the foresight to make a better decision. Like after making us wait an extra 2.5 months for this dog shit ban decision that everyone knew was coming, I would hope that they have the foresight to take the next step after just banning a card from Scam. I don't know what that is. I don't think they should to ban like Entomb or Reanimate or whatever. I think Frog is probably the card that's most on the chopping block, just because that card. Like, I am a little bit interested in seeing the format develop, seeing Frog get explored in a format without Scam. But I am not interested in Wizards leaving Legacy to rot for another 3 months after we discovered that, oh, look, this Frog deck's broken, and then we're just gonna have to play it at Eternal Weekend or whatever. Just like, if Wizards is willing to ban things with like at a more rapid fire pace, which they've shown time and time again that they're not willing to do that, then I think it's kind of fine to leave Frog in. But I think at the rate that Wizards actually glances over at Legacy, I think they should just probably kill Frog. Hey Laura, how's it going? Yeah, we're still streaming here. We're just streaming not Legacy. That's pretty much the only thing. People having fun in the Duel Commander Leagues. This is like the 4th different Tamio build I've seen. Yeah, I mean, most of the Tamio lists I've seen look very just like blue-green tempo strategy. Just like Tamio plus a bunch of counter spells. You flip your Tamio, you run away with the game that way. And then you just like protect it with every 1 and 2 mana counter spell in the book. And you play like a couple of green cards, the really broken ones, Oko. I've seen like a Tamio deck that was just mono blue plus Oko, which is almost assuredly like there's got to be some green cards that are broken enough to play that aren't just Oko, but Slimefoot and Squee, right? Classic mid-range deck. Sand is fine, not exciting. You really want the hands with like 1-drop creature, but you obviously can't always have that. And we do have like 1-drop removal spell. This path has been kind of awkward. Just in general in this format. Every deck in the format has basics, so the upside's like, or the downside is pretty high on path, but unconditional 1-mana removal is very good, so hard to say. Like going with the lands package for Depths combo. That's kind of cool, yeah. I can see that. If I get Grief scammed here... If we just get Grief reanimated here, do we just turn off the stream? My opponent fetches and casts reanimate on this Grief, I might just turn off the stream. It's so astronomically unlikely, right? There's just no way. Don't you fucking do it. Cast a Mana Dork, you. Thank God. Yeah, the Cliffside Rescuer take makes sense, because it probably means that if I cast my Light-Paws, it's going to die. I think I just don't cast Light-Paws here. I think I just wait to cast it with a mana up to protect it with Solid Footing. Yeah, they do play Reanimate in this deck, yes. I was waiting for that to happen to me. I think I'm happy to like hold up Path here. If they play like Slimefoot and Squee, maybe we Path it and then we untap and play Light-Paws. Plus hold up Solid Footing. Or potentially like Sorcery Speed, Flickering Ward if they tap out here. Because if you Flickering Ward and go get the pro red black thing, then it has pro green, red, and black. And it's hard for them to touch it. They probably play something out of like Edicts or something. 2 removal spells here, which would be a little unfortunate. Or they just play Slimefoot and Squee. This is pretty weak turn for them. Huh. I think I'm just going to go get pro red-black aura, and then I'm going to all that glitters, and then flickering ward, and then assume that they're probably dead. Wait, are they just dead if I go get, like, ethereal armor, all that glitters, flickering ward for green to punch through, get, or like Zealot's Conviction? Are they literally dead? Ah, man, I can't do math. I'm gonna get 2 auras, 4 auras, 6 auras. So ethereal armor plus all that glitters is gonna be plus 12 plus 12. That's 13, 14, 15, 16. If the all that glitters goes and gets the 2-drop Daybreak Coronet, 17, 18, 19. And then Zealot's Conviction just gets Griff Spoon. I think that's lethal. Unless they have, you know, like a 0 mana removal spell and we just fucking die. Why is this 5/5? Oh yeah, because of the +1/+1 from Solid Footing. I mean, if they have a 0 mana, like, the card that I can't think of, and I just will simply choose not to name instead, then that's fine. Snuff out, huh? Okay. Oh, I actually don't have lethal here now. Fuck. Because they can chum block with the Saproling. Oh, wait. I might have lethal if I just go get a different aura with all that glitters, because they paid 5. They paid life now. Mask of Law and Grace. Yeah, this is 14/14. So now we just go get an aura that gives it flying or something. I don't have vigilance. I guess we'd already go to like 16/16 or something anyway. We just go get Griff Spoon. They really beefed that one, not snuff outing. After I resolved my Light-Paws trigger. But that works for me. Yeah, all the flash auras make... This deck definitely has struggles with counter spells specifically, because there's not a lot of good, clean ways to play around counter spells with this deck. But this deck can play around removal spells pretty well. With all the flash auras, but we've definitely seen some tension in both of our first games with counter spells. So another gemstone Cavern's Hand that actually isn't that good. I'll probably just pitch the Springleaf Drum because the Springleaf Drum doesn't look good in this hand either. Maybe I pitch this Ruins of Trocare. Nah. There's a chance we play like Skrelv plus tapped Ruins of Trocare or some shit. So we can have more mana the following turn. Oh, rip Skrelv. I'm probably supposed to go Ruins of Trocare, go. And then we can hold up Indomitable Will to protect Light-Paws. Art. We could Light-Paws plus Ossification the Bob. And the Ossification just goes and tutors the pro red-black aura. Doesn't actually seem that unreasonable, huh? It's a little bad against Snuff Out. That's how this card works, right? If an aura enters, if you cast it, you can search it for a different aura and put it attached to Light-Paws. So yeah, it doesn't care. I think even though it's a 1-drop aura, we just go get pro red black. Make sure we're protected from like black removal spells and lightning bolt or whatever. Our hand is good enough for juicing up the Light-Paws afterwards. Just dead. Just dead. Alright. We're cooking. We're cooking. This deck does seem very good against the Slimefoot and Squee deck, just on paper. That deck seems like it probably really struggles to beat, to answer Light-Paws effectively without multiple removal spells against like a bunch of flash auras. Should we do the giveaway now? Let's do the giveaway, chat. What do you think? A play point giveaway. Oh, dog is mad that I kicked her out at the beginning of the stream and is now throwing herself at the door. It is the second stream of the month. I should redeem the let dog back in. Alright. Fair enough. I did make that a channel point reward. I thought I only made that 10k, not 20k. I should lower it a little bit. Maybe make it like 15k. She's back. Let's do the giveaway. Ow, 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 ow. Do the giveaway after next round. Is what I was going to say. Before getting brutally stabbed. I was thinking about next week. This is unofficial because I don't know exactly when this is actually going to happen. But I've been in chats with Jarvis. I know Jarvis has been messing around with some Duel Commander 2. Was considering doing a series of matches against Jarvis next week for Duel Commander, where like both of us bring 3 decks and we play like best of 3 matches sort of deal. I don't know if we'd actually put anything on the line other than just like kind of jamming for fun with cool decks that we like. But I have been really interested in this deck. This deck has felt very cool. I have not like deep dived on like the aura possibilities that you could put into this deck. Like I said, I yoinked this one from my buddy Zane, who had cooked it up. So I haven't deep dived on if there are cards missing that we should be playing. But both this and the Felia deck have felt really cool, and also just mono white decks are obviously very much in my wheelhouse. I don't really have a third deck that I would bring yet, but I have a week to figure that out. Oh god, that's so much drool, cat. How do you have so much drool? Oh god, it's everywhere, you disgusting monster. Oh my god. That was actually disgusting. She just I can't show you because my shirt is fully black, but just torrential downpour of drool. You absolute monster. Ugh. No, get off. Don't keep drooling on me. Sit on the chair. Sit on the chair, you disgusting monster. Get. Keep drooling. I'll ban you. I will ban you from chat. Go back to the drawing minds. Get to work on your grief. Did you draw your grief already? Can I retweet it? You already posted it? You didn't tell me. I gotta retweet all your griefs. Okay. Ooh, today's is frantic search. Fun. I don't have Twitter, show grief. Fair enough. Alex, in fact, does not have Twitter. Here's today's grief. Frantic search. Because I was frantically searching for what to draw today. Get it? But unban frantic search, Watsy. Honestly, I think frantic search is maybe the most unbannable card on the list. Looking at the deck list, I feel like all the combo decks seem fairly lame, although using bullies to reanimate levelers definitely combo. I don't even know what the fuck that is, Alex, I'll be honest. But yeah, that is one thing that, like, the combo decks don't seem that strong. I haven't seen any that felt exceptional. There's a blue-black control deck that I played against that was like blue-black control Doomsday combo finish with the blue-black looter. Maybe that'll be the third deck that I'll bring. Maybe I'll finally brew that Zerda deck. I kind of want to try building a Zerda red-white, like, paintery, artifacty strategy. That also obviously has, like, Basalt Monolith Zerda, which is, like, bad against counter spells, but is pretty good against removal, right? Because every one extra mana you have up on the combo turn means that you can just go off with Zerda. The blue-black looter deck looks pretty sick. I think that one's plausibly good. Yeah, it looked pretty impressive when I played against it, except it has Doomsday in it, and is Doomsday, resolving Doomsday in a 100-card, 99-card format is just, like, my worst nightmare. I legitimately sat there watching my opponent resolve Doomsday for about 7 minutes. It's just, like, truly hell. But also, they just, like, one of the games, they just, like, Demonic Consultation plus Jaced me. And, like, the lack of Thassa's Oracle specifically does make it the plan a lot more balanced. Causing 4 mana instead of 2 is a lot more reasonable for that, for that combo to go off. No, go away. I'm convinced depth should be played more than it is. Yeah, I would agree with that. I think a lot of decks probably struggle to kill a Merit Lage. The decks that aren't white probably have a couple of, I mean, there are a number of blue decks that have, like, bounce spells and stuff. Maybe it's hard to make a Lage and protect it in the same turn or something. I've, like, thought about what I would, like, try to have, like, a more Merit Lage oriented deck look like. I've thought about, like, a 6 lands list. Maybe you have to go into other colors, though. Also want to try a green-black, like, Gak-esque, like, maybe not Gak-esque is the proper word. I think Gak is fully banned, not just banned as commander. I forget, though. But, like, just a blue-black, like a green-black graveyard deck with Flip Grist. Because I think all the 1-mana commanders are worth exploring a decent amount because they're just very busted. See people playing as Zeus, so I try out. Yeah, it's possible Zeus is just, like, better than 6, right? If they're both kind of like combos with Life from the Loam in a way. fourth match taking a while. I should have done the giveaway while waiting for the match to start. Dog, get lost. Come on. Go bug your mom. There we go. Another Slimefoot and Squee deck. We'll see if we can run it back. Definitely not with this one land hand. We can't. This hand's kind of mopey, but also has no actual auras. But on 6, I'll keep it. A lot of these mid-range decks are just soft to recurring Tech Edge Dust Bowl. Could make some sense, yeah. I think Mana Denial is pretty underrated, underplayed. Maybe just not a lot of decks have access to it, but just like stuff like Blood Moon and stuff, and those sorts of cards seem really, really good to me. Well, kind of wish I had bottomed Ruins of Trocare instead of the Plains. If I knew I was going to draw Skrelv. Them's the breaks, though. Oh, that's kind of rude, huh? I could Reverent Mantra this? Wasteland and Back to Basics being banned, notably, it means that, like, decks just really have to play an unreasonable number of non-basics. But for some reason, Blood Moon isn't banned. I guess because it's harder for, like, the mono red decks are worse or something. I guess that's another deck I do want to try is the Feldon mono red aggro deck. Do I Reverent Mantra this Orcish Bowmaster? I kind of like my Skrelv, honestly. Although we could just let the Skrelv die and Reverent Mantra to protect the Light-Paws the following turn. Yeah, I think that's kind of fine. Could also just like cast Selfless Spirit instead of Light-Paws or something. If we draw an Aura, if we don't draw an Aura, I might play Selfless Spirit, or even Grand Abolisher. I think I'll just cast Selfless Spirit here. The Grand Abolisher in play would be comfy, but definitely is not nearly necessary versus non-blue decks. Just kind of a nice to have, but I might just end up pitching into the Reverent Mantra or something. Getting aggro down a little bit here if my opponent goes like attack, play Slimefoot Squee, we miss on Aura again. Yeah, like that. Doesn't even want to offer the trade. Like, I'm never gonna block those 1/1s. Aura? Alright. It's a 2-mana Aura, which is a little awkward, but we'll take it. Since when is Grand Abolisher mythic? Yeah, all the big scorecards big score was like a mini set that they combined into the main set, but then they made all the cards mythic for reasons. Alright, so we have Selfless Spirit plus Reverent Mantra to protect the Light-Paws. We can untap and Triclopean Sight. Go get some sort of Aura. Having double protection for Light-Paws is nice. If they attack with Slimefoot and Squee, I will just block. Oh. Huh. I guess, but they don't send the Saproling, they just send all the 1/1s that I'd rather block. I think I'd just rather like choke them off of more mana in case they ever want it. cool reanimate effect. You make like your... It would have been like really sick for them if I blocked the Bowmaster, right? Sacrifices a creature or planeswalker with the... Wait, is this gonna get me? No, they don't have enough mana to quarry back the Bowmasters. Greatest mana value, so I just sack the Selfless Spirit. You also have, like, reanimate the Bowmasters. Wait, what? Oh, shit. Oh, dang. That's cool. I was like, wait, how did the Slimefoot die? Because of the Lazotep, they could sack the creature to Lazotep Quarry, and then use Slimefoot's ability to bring it back. But we have Reverend Mantra, so we're fine. I was really hoping I would draw. I guess we can just Triclopian Sight for the Flickering Ward, right? And then Flickering Ward for stuff. Dog, I swear to Christ. We have 3 mana, so we can pick up, replay, and then pick up. That doesn't do anything, but we can pick up replay, I think, is the important thing. That gives it protection from all colors at that point, or protection from Jund. So we get Flickering Ward, pick up Flickering Ward, recast Flickering Ward, go get Mask of Law and Grace, then as pro everything. I think that's fine. And then we can just Flickering Ward for more stuff after that, hopefully. They already used their edict, so hopefully they don't have another one. Sure. Sure. Alright, so now we have 6 mana, so we just pick up and put down Flickering Ward 3 times. I think we'll play around an edict of some kind. Go get a totem armor, I guess. And then ethereal armor at the end. killed them there? I don't think so. Could have gotten like a lifelink aura, but I don't think that matters. Maybe they'll just flip a 5. Dang, unlucky. I don't like the fact that they're fetching so quickly. Oh, they're just digging for something. Trying to hit like some sort of like edict creature to Lazotep Quarry back or something. Maybe. Yeah, we got him. Yeah, this Slimefoot and Squee matchup seems really good for Light-Paws. Sand is a little awkward. You'll really want 3 mana, but we have a bunch of like good spells. We can afford to wait a turn or so. Don't know if you're supposed to plow mana dorks in this matchup. Well, I guess it doesn't matter. Would have been nice to Surge of Salvation then, huh? No, my Surge of Salvation. Swift Reconfig is nice. Really good to put that on commanders. Some commanders, I guess. With Swift Reconfig, I think I'll plow pretty much any creature that they play here. Nope, can't plow a Wild Growth. Can plow a White of the Reliquary. And I certainly want to. 3 cards in hand. Can we just draw, like, a land? Yeah, I'll take that. That's fine. It leaves me the ability to cast Light-Paws plus hold up white mana for Military Discipline the following turn. I'll Swift reconfig, like, Slimefoot if they play it this turn. Although Swift reconfig is kind of nice with Flash, right? Grief. That's kind of fine. Swift reconfig is kind of nice with Light-Paws. You can like flash it in and get your Light-Paws trigger still. Now I will instead just play Hyena Umbra, I think. Can't really play around Snuff Out ever. I guess I could, right? I could sack Ruins of Trocare just to suit up Light-Paws and just get got by Edict if that's what they have. Kind of not unreasonable, huh? Do they actually have the Snuff Out? I mean, they might have a Flare of Malice, which would definitely fuck me. But it would be really sick if they're just sitting here with Snuff Out and we have Military Discipline. They just can't Snuff Out. So now we just get, with this trigger, we just go get Pro Red, Pro Black. So we can just cast the Military Discipline at sorcery speed instead. Get here, just Ethereal Armor, just to kill him. Glyph Elemental next turn can go get like pro creatures or something. Yeah, I think our plan is if they have an Edict we die, so kind of fine with this. Cartouche for the Edicts? Oh, maybe. Cartouche doesn't beat the one Edict we've seen, but they might have more. Notably, we don't have pro green. They could have, like, Shieldred's Edict or something. I guess we just Glyph Elemental, play Landfall. So this thing currently gets blocked by Saproling. Draw a card, +1/+0 flying ain't bad. I don't have Vigilance, so I would actually kind of get hit for a decent amount. All that glitters, we get blocked by Saprolings, which is not great. What am I looking for here? Spirit Mantle, protection from creatures. Daybreak Coronet is just Vigilance lifelink. So I think Feather of Flight is what I want. Draws a card. Do they find the Flare of Malice? They got 9 damage showing. They could also find a removal spell, like a Abrupt Decay or something, for the Feather of Flight. And block with the Saproling, which would be kind of bad for me. I think we still live, though. Oh, they found the Flare of Malice! Jeez, that's brutal. Alright, well, we have this Glyph Elemental. Let's see if it's good enough. Think we are just dead now. Sure, alright, fine. Also have the snuff out. Get off of me, kitty. Jeez. Yeah. Flare of Malice can be definitely a little tricky to play around. I think the plan is generally hope they don't draw it every single game, which they're 2 for 2 so far, but we beat it game 1. I'll keep this probably. It's a little awkward because we actually don't have any flash auras, which are the good ones. But I'm also happy to just march a turn 1 mana dork on turn 2. If they tap out, we can like Light-Paws hanging on, bro. Yeah. Happy to just play planes, march this. If they don't tap out, I will probably just wait for 4 mana for Light-Paws Dog Umbra. God, they just have the Stomping Ground up. It's like exactly Lightning Bolt. Six cards in hand. Yeah, fuck it. Let's give it per red black. If they play Slimefoot and Squee here, we just dog Umbra for Flickering Ward, probably. And then pick up and replay Flickering Ward for Pro Green. Oh, or we draw that for Pro Green. Are they dead? They might be dead here. If I just go get all that glitters plus... I don't think they're dead. I think I'm like one off, or like I'm some number off, maybe. Two off. Or three off, sorry. Maybe shouldn't have gone for this. Probably should have got a Cartouche or something instead of, or like Flickering Ward or something. It's probably better knowing, if I did the math and know it's not lethal, it's probably best to go Shield of Duty to get Flickering Ward and hold on to the Dog Umbra. But then what do I do? Milgrist, sure. That's not going to help you. Hey, we did it. Look at that. They did not have Flare of Malice for the third time. Skill game. Alright, let's do the giveaway now. As always, we're going to do exclamation point giveaway. Ban Grief will be the keyword. For 120 play points, we do these all the time on the channel. Enter. Type Ban Grief in the chat if you want to enter. Oh, where's my title? There we go. Type Ban Grief in the chat for a chance at 120 play points. You get a code for it. You can give it to a friend. You can set it on fire. You do whatever you want with it. Once it's out of my hands and into yours, it's not my problem. You can do anything you want except give it a Toast. Toast is not allowed to have any codes. Shout out to Daybreak Games for sponsoring me as an MTGO content creator, allowing me to do these play point giveaways. I always like these. I usually try to do more fun phrases, more topical to what's going on, but for the past couple weeks we've been doing Ban Grief. Maybe I could have done like Murktide or something to celebrate my shiny new Murktide. But we got one more round today. We're 3-1. Our first match, what did we play against? We played against the Chromium deck. I think we could have beat the Chromium deck. But it definitely showed that there are some pain points of this deck in terms of like counter spells specifically. It's harder to play around. I wonder if there's the ability to actually fix that. That makes sense why like the Tithe Taker and stuff is in here now. Tithe Taker, Grand Abolisher makes a lot of sense. Just very few cards that can actually interact with counter spells in mono white. But I think the Mana Tithe should be in here too. Mana Tithe could potentially protect your Light-Paws as well. I'm curious if there's any other cards that could potentially be missed. I was kind of surprised this Runes of Trickera was actually... I was kind of not enthused to put Remote Farm and Runes of Trickera in this deck, but they felt pretty okay. The Remote Farm was a little awkward, but Silence seems bad. Defense Grid, yeah, Silence Defense Grid seemed like kind of horrible to me. But maybe, probably not. I think the Mana Tithe is definitely pretty reasonable. I don't really know what looks good after that. I would definitely do some more deep diving on what options you got. Also, I would also play the removal spell for MDFC. God, what's the 2-drop? Razor Grass Thicket or something? Just like pretty free in mono white. Also happens to line up very... I guess I should say very well. Happens to line up pretty decently against Tameo, at least. which is probably a pretty relevant part of the format. Just like 2-mana removal spell isn't great on rate, but obviously it's also a land. Format is very aggressive, has a lot of aggro creatures you probably want to kill at certain stages of the game. I also still haven't got the ruling of what happens when you tutor an aura that you're not allowed to with Light-Paws. Anyway, let's do Ban Griefs for another 1 minute while I try to Google. While I try to Google what happens if you tutor an aura you're not allowed to with Light-Paws. If an aura you find can't be attached to Light-Paws for any reason, it stays in your library and does not enter the battlefield. Oh, neat. Okay, I thought I would like go to the graveyard or something, but just doesn't do anything. That answers that very, very easily. More than half of the timer left. Get your Ban Griefs into chat. Not a lot of chatters interested in the promo today. Grief isn't a problem, sure, buddy. Dog, what is wrong with you today? Huh? Leave me alone. There's the timer. I was kind of expecting a noise. I don't know why I didn't. Hey, Storm Thief. Congratulations on your 120 play points. As soon as I find the code. There we go. Alright, code sent. Congratulations. Enjoy your 120 play points. Hopefully they go to a good cause. Not playing Legacy right now, probably. Try your hand at some Duel Commander, perhaps. Pays for 2 Duel Commander leagues. Got one more round. Beat a weird Stacks Tameo. Beat Slimefoot and Squee twice. Every time I see the Slimefoot and Squee deck, I just have not been super impressed with it. Maybe I'm just playing decks that happen to be good versus Slimefoot and Squee. Any idea if they're going to start? I've heard that they're working on it. I don't know what working on it entails. Obviously, none of us do. I don't know what makes it particularly difficult to get like 5-0s posted or whatever, but they are in fact working on it. It is a thing that is on Daybreak's mind and they are actively trying to do. It would be nice to get the 5-0s going, because I think right now a lot of people are just net decking like anything that they can find, and I think Duel Commander resources are fairly sparse and unreliable at times. A lot of Duel Commander lists that you see online that have been published on like it's like MTG Net or something, and MTG Top 8 or stuff like that, are just like random 17-person events or whatever. So starting to get some like real feedback loops of seeing what stuff is rising to the top could definitely be interesting to actually start to spark some evolution in the format. Recovering the losses from testing bad decks in Vintage. Smart. Dog, what is your problem today, huh? You're usually not this annoying. You're usually just, like, pretty annoying. Goodbye. Goodbye. I didn't lock her out, I just kicked her out. You don't need the points, the door is open. I I just encouraged her to leave. She'll be back in like a minute and a half, I'm sure. Maybe by then we'll get in our last match. But it has been nice to see, like, I know Mengu's been trying dual commander. I know Jarvis was trying dual commander last week. Seeing people explore, like, cool, underappreciated formats. I'm always a big dual commander fan. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do when Legacy's, like, actually playable again. After they kill Scam. Because I do want to keep playing this format, but I will obviously be interested in doing Legacy again. Maybe we'll do, like, once a month, like, dual commander stream. It's like once every 4 weeks sort of deal. I'm not 100% sure. We're playing against Yoshimaru. This is probably a pretty good test, huh? Seems very good, and we're on the play. I feel like I'm okay versus Yoshimaru. Like, we can definitely out-big their creature, right? It is a little dangerous, Benevolent Bodyguard to protecting Light-Paws, because if I give Light-Paws Pro-White, all the auras will fall off. So if they do have, like, Swords to Plowshares or Path to Exile, then things could get a little ugly. Sure. So this is nice, because this could potentially... No, this is bad for protecting from white cards too. It's Benevolent whatever is the good one to protect Light-Paws. But I think we're just gonna go off to the races, hope it's good enough. We're gonna like Saving Grace for Daybreak Coronet or something. Just to gain a bunch of life. They're not casting anything, which makes me really uncomfortable. You gonna Jessica me? Is that your plan? This comes in with one counter. You could ping off the Benevolent Bodyguard. That seems awful. What is happening here? I could play Remote Farm tapped and just hold up Saving Grace and Chomano's Blessing. Could play the land and play Vigilant Martyr just as another shield for Light-Paws. That's probably fine. We'll cast 2 mana and then we'll have 3 mana next turn. And play the Remote Farm tapped. Do I just Saving Grace aggressively to punch through the mom? What would I do to punch the mom? I'd have to give it flying. Saving Grace for the flying aura. That feels pretty weak. It'll only push like 3 damage. Draw a card. I think I'll just pass. I guess I could attack there for pretty much free. Force them to see if they want to activate the mom. Kind of weird by their choice to just land go there. Interesting. Hit a Mary. Sure. So the awkward thing here is that I guess I don't need pro anything to attack. I just need flying. Seems like a kind of bold attack. I guess they could save it with the mom, but... I think I'm gonna get Daybreak Coronet here. Maybe not. Maybe I'm supposed to get all that glitters into the flying thing. I don't want to get aggroed down, though. Daybreak Coronet is a little awkward. No, they're tapped out. Yeah, this is fine. I do not really have a plan for if they have like a plow or something. Seems like not great sequencing there. Benevolent Blessing is really nice. I swift reconfig the Yoshi to get... this is like... I want to get this Benevolent Blessing on the Light-Paws now to make sure that I'm protected from white. But it's awkward that I can't also get pro red. But maybe that just doesn't matter. They just have the Amptraptor right now. I guess eventually they could mom the Amptraptor and block it, but... I could Chomono's Blessing the Amptraptor and give it pro white to protect it from the mom, which is kind of funny. And then they would just tap that in response. You could always probe the Benevolent Bodyguard afterwards. It's just, is this just lethal? Am I stupid? Can I just like... No, because I can't cast both of these because this fucking remote farm. So if we config for... Ethereal Armor into Benevolent Blessing is actually maybe lethal. Yeah, that might actually be lethal. Chomono's Blessing pro red. Dang, not lethal. I really need to learn all that glitters plus ethereal armor math doing in like a split second. Because now if they actually just untap and source supply shows, we're in kind of an awkward spot. I guess I would just be able to Benevolent Bodyguard pro white, all the things fall off, and then I still have Benevolent Blessing to rebuild and attack for the last 3. So it's like not the end of the world. An 0-1 Pyrogoyf. You got it. Powerful play. Flying draw card aura. Feather of Flight. Easy. Yeah, playing against the secondary tension here is definitely playing against white decks, because your auras giving pro white have some awkward tensions. This is pretty nice. We have Reverend Mantra or Solitude here. Probably not both, but maybe. Depends on if the mom lives, I think. We don't have to Solitude the Yoshimaru, like, on turn 1. It's not a card that just gets crazy out of control. I mean, it is a card that gets crazy out of control, but not like a card that immediately demands like an answer. It's going to start extracting value. Opponent's allergic to casting Yoshimaru. If they have removals with moms, whatever. It just means that our Reverent Mantra is going to be there to protect the Light-Paws. Play with Fire. They have that many burn spells in their deck? They're like a super aggro Yoshimaru deck? I guess Play with Fire is probably like the 3rd or 4th best 1-mana burn spell. Kind of baffled by a lot of these cards in their deck. I'll happily Light-Paws with Reverend Mantra up, though. I just don't know. What are they gambling for? Probably did not gamble for that Gemstone Caverns. Just gonna, like, not do anything. Alright. Well, I'm gonna cast this Light-Paws. Maybe I shouldn't. If they have Play with Fire, they might be, like, much heavier burn spells, and I have a chance to, like, Selfless Spirit. But Light-Paws is really fucked up. Alright, so there's no 1-mana spell. Opponent's 4 cards in. There's no 1-mana spell in our deck. No 1-mana aura that protects us from like Swords of Plowshares and stuff, right? I guess no, there's the Flickering Ward, but it would make the other aura fall off immediately if I choose white. But it is a choice I can make if my opponent tries to, like, Swords of Plowshares my thing. I only get to cast 2 of these because of this Hall of Heliod's Generosity. So I think I will just Spirit Link here. And go get Pro Red Aura, maybe? They have 4 cards. Do I just want, like, a creature? Or do I just want, like, Cartouche? Ethereal Armor just gets it out of burn range pretty quick. But if that falls off, it kind of sucks. 4 cards in hand. It kind of worries me a little bit. I think I'm going to play it a little safe here. I'm a little concerned my opponent has something. don't know what that something is. I guess I have Reverend Mantra to protect from red cards as well as Solid Footing. Cartouche is kind of low investment if they just like throw a white spell at it, like a Plow or something. Is there a reason to cast a spell here? Kind of, but not really. Oh, there's Flickering Ward, huh? Doesn't have Flash. I think I just pro-red. They're just dead. Alright, cool. We take those. This deck actually did feel... So, step one, there is definitely tension. I don't even know if you want Hall of Healer as Generosity. I can't imagine a lot of situations where you're actually activating this. So maybe you don't even want it. This deck really, really loves white sources. War Room is obviously acceptable. Gemstone Caverns is definitely acceptable. Command Beacon's acceptable. I think Cave of the Frost Dragon probably sucks. You maybe don't want Hall of Healer Generosity. Maybe don't want Rashadenport. Main deck felt pretty good though. The big thing about a lot of dual commander decks is that you have to do like a lot of Scryfall deep diving for niche cards. Like I would definitely look through all the white auras, CMC 1 to 2. Just to make sure that this deck didn't miss anything. There are definitely some cuttables in here. Eidolon of Countless Battles. Maybe some of the protection guys are like a little bit dorky and bad. Maybe there are some one-drop creatures that were missed that are okay to run. Where the deck really struggles the most is counter spells. All seems good if you got to rebuild, but it looks like your opponent didn't really have an answer where you need it. Well, I mean... Hall doesn't feel good at rebuilding, right? Because when you rebuild, it's because your Light-Paws died. It's generally not because you don't have any enchantments. But maybe it's like there are worlds where you're like, man, I wish I could draw an enchantment after like 4 of them are in your graveyard or something. Like maybe it's still worth it enough. It's definitely like underpowered because the ways that you're losing generally it buys back your Flickering Ward. That could be interesting, yeah. Like, if you need to Flickering Ward to save your Light-Paws, and then the Flickering Ward drops off the other enchantments or something, then you can Hall of Helios Generosity to make sure that you're, like, drawing your auras again. But then you have the Flickering Ward, and then you'd rather spend your mana just picking up and putting down the Flickering Ward repeatedly. It's tough. Anyway, I lost my train of thought a little bit. You could deep dive for, like, protective 1-drops, or, like, cards that make the deck a little bit better versus counterspells. I don't know if I don't know if there are any. There's definitely some potential. Thanks for the follows, everyone. Drudgies and Larry Legend. Appreciate the follows. I think this deck might contain actual every single 1 to 2 mana aura with Flash, which I think is very good. And then just a lot of the other like reasonable auras and stuff, right? Like, the Flash auras were definitely just very good all the time because you just get to respond to everything your opponent tries to do. But, like, this is maybe cuttable. The Pearlier is probably not cuttable because it just draws you cards, right? You just want, like, extra engine pieces sometimes if your Light-Paws dies 3 times or whatever. It's just like you have, like, SRAM, Core, Spirit Dancer, Pearlier, that sort of thing. Lash Knife is a particularly sick one that we never actually drew, but if you control planes, you can just tap your Light-Paws to cast this 2-mana spell for free. So you get any 2-mana aura for free. It's a pretty nasty one. But I think that's about all I have in terms of reads on this deck. This deck definitely felt good, though. Would definitely approach it from the vantage points of, like, of trying to beat counter spells, step one, and then, like, making sure that you have the best options possible versus white removal spells. Like, we did have a lot of good... Well, we played against, I guess, 2 white decks, the Chromium deck, and then the Yoshimaru deck, which looked like it was leaning way heavier red. But there are some tensions in attempting to play around white spells that involve, like, if there are other cards that are similar to Benevolent Blessing, it would be nice, but there probably aren't. Just kind of the balancing act that you kind of have to do with some of these cards. But I don't know. I like this deck. I like this deck a lot. I liked the Felia deck a lot too. I think these decks are pretty promising front runners in terms of decks I want to try going forward. Decks I might potentially play against Jarvis next week. TBD on that. Other than that, I think we're done here. Oh, I see the problem. Wait, did I? Oh, this is the first... I'm dumb as hell. What the... this is the first week of August codes. I totally sent you the wrong code, Storm Thief. My apologies. Why did I think it was the second week of codes? I guess because it's like the second week of August, kind of. My brain totally shut off, though. It should be this code. There you go. Anyway, I'll be back next week. Gonna decide if and when I'm gonna play against Jarvis. He probably won't do it during my stream time, so I might do like an extra bonus stream or something. We'll like during his streaming hours. We'll see. But next Tuesday, I'll try to explore something else. Maybe Zerda. Maybe Grist. Maybe some other thing I think of between now and next week. But I've definitely been enjoying my re-entry into Duel Commander. A lot of powerful legendary creatures printed in the last 8 years that I have not got to mess with. But thank you all for watching. Let's go find someone to raid, huh? Stop it, kitty. Why are you such a pest today? Who's streaming? Let's go raid Dingo, huh? Typically, no one playing Legacy at this hour, but Dingo's always playing Modern. And he's on for just like a million hours. Anyway, thanks everyone for watching. As always, you want to support the channel, you can subscribe here. You get extra sideboard guides over on Flex Slot. You can follow me here. You can follow me on Twitter. You can subscribe on the YouTube channel where all of these VODs go afterwards. And as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next week with some more Duel Commander.